think the relationship between China and US got strained just after COVID. No, it happened in 1960s itself. And for more than 10 years, these countries were not comfortable with each other. And one fine day, it got resolved over a table. Don't think it's a table where all delegates from both the countries sat. It was a table tennis table. This happened in the 1970s, when there was a practice match going on, and the table tennis sports people were to travel from the practice stadium to the actual stadium where the match was to be held. The US bus, which was to take the players, did not arrive on time, while the Chinese bus was there waiting. So the Chinese top player, Zhuang, boarded the bus, and he offered the American player, Cohen, to get into the bus. Cohen was initially hesitant, but he got into it. And then Zhuang offered him or gifted him a silk woven material which had a picture of a mountain in China. Cohen received it and he got down from the bus. So when the players were supposed to get down from the bus, the media people were all around there. When they saw the American player and the Chinese fellow coming together, it was a flash news that day. And from that day onwards, the international relationships between China and America became better. And China called US players when they hosted a game in China for the first time in 1971. So table tennis has had a huge potential to change the history of this globe. So table tennis is also, by the way, the third most popular sport in this world. So we have India's #1 under-13 national champion, Nikkhil, with us, who is today the youth icon of table tennis in this country. Welcome, Nikkhil. Nikkhil, I am awestruck by you. When children these days are finding it so hard to attend online classes, sit there only for a few hours, I know you practice for 6 hours every day. How is it possible? And how long have you been doing this?
I've been following the 6 hour schedule for 3 years now. Actually, I'm very passionate about my game. So I've never felt the strain of 6 hours. And even if one day I miss practice, I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah, that's a great attitude, because I've seen this or I've heard this at one of the most popular violinists, Jasha. Jasha said that if I don't practice for one day, I will notice the difference. If I don't practice for 2 days, my wife will notice the difference. If I don't practice for 3 days, all the critics will know the difference. So you find that practice is something which gives you that kind of confidence to play at the national level. Awesome. I know your first love was not with PT, it was with cricket. And I have seen you hitting the headlines with district level championship in cricket also. How did you suddenly move to PT?
See, I used to watch a lot of cricket matches on TV, and I also used to play with my father. So I used to love feeling at the slips. So to improve my reflexes, my father said that table tennis is the best game for that. So he enrolled me in an academy. Then one day after cricket coaching, he asked me which game do I prefer.
Okay.
I said I like both, thinking he might stop one. Then again he asked me which one do I like as a sport. I said table tennis, as it is an individual game and one's own hard work depends whether he wins or loses. As cricket, all 11 players have to work hard to achieve.
Okay, great. But with table tennis, you don't have a wicket keeper behind you. If you lose the ball, you lose something. Despite that, you wanted to go for table tennis.
Yes.
Wonderful. Since you have been in practice sessions, I know it is tough, but practice session is harder. Since you've been in practice sessions for quite some time, have you felt guilty of missing something, Nikkhil?
Well, not guilty as such, but I do sometimes feel if I had more time on hand, I would have enrolled in a few classes like abacus or drawing or painting, since I like art. And I do sometimes feel that I miss out on a few family vacations.
Okay, so even if you had time, you would have done something productive only, not sleeping, playing PUBG, nothing like that. That is another great trait of achievers. If they have more time, they will achieve more, achieve in a different field. So I find this to be truly interesting. So the next question, maybe a tough question, not from your championship or other. Have you attended any tournaments or coaching classes amidst a personally difficult circumstances? Maybe you were unwell that day or something happened. Did you encounter such a situation?
Yes, I did face a situation very recently when it was my maiden international tournament at Tunisia in North Africa. Unfortunately, it had been just 15 days since my grandfather passed away, and I had to leave the tournament amidst the personal family loss.
That is sad. That is sad. So how did you console yourself? Maybe you thought, if my grandfather was living today, he would have asked me to go to the tournament. So I still, in my mind, I believe that he is living. So that is how you were able to make it to the tournament. I find that attitude to be truly very mature perspective. I agree with you that table tennis is a very tough sport. So which means that some people may be trying to do something unfair when playing. Has it happened to you? Like somebody has tried to irritate you, either during the game or before the game.
Yes, this happens many times. When I'm in the flow getting points, they try to irritate me by saying their bat is wet. They try to stop the game, but I don't let that make my concentration go up. I just focus on the next point.
Okay, so even if this bat is wet, you are cool.
Yeah.
Right? So being cool is the best way that you will irritate somebody who is trying to irritate you. Children from the rural background, they've got a great stamina. You will find children in North Chennai being crazy about football, achieving international championship. I still see table tennis as a sport that is reserved for some people who are elite. Not everybody who is poor can afford to get into it. Kind of a sport and achieve. So, do you have any ideas to encourage or do something to change this situation?
Very nice question, but I think I'm too young for that now. But I'm very happy that I'm in an academy where my coaches give free training to players who cannot afford to pay the fees.
Even prominent players like Nikkhil have reported that they have faced politics in sports. Have you any time faced it? Or if you have not, how do you plan to handle it?
I'm too young to face any kind of politics till now, but if I face any, even though I'm a small boy, I have a big coach.
I love that answer. Right. Even quoting from our Puranas, when Yamadharma came and tried to catch hold of Markandeya, Markandeya did not go and plead with Yamadharma. He went to Lord Shiva, who is much bigger. So you have a bigger coach who can handle any nuisance, any problems. That's a lovable attitude. I admire your faith in your coaches. What target or milestone will be really fulfilling for you?
My long-term target would be to qualify for the 2028 Olympics for India. What I'm wearing now is the one every player wears at the Olympics, and this keeps reminding me of how much I should work hard to achieve it.
Oh, okay. That's a way that you're reminding yourself. So this becomes your vision board. You got a vision board on your pocket.
Yes.
Wonderful. I have another question for you. Getting back to your 6 hours schedule every day. 2020 was a period of lockdown. You are lucky that you are playing an indoor game because everybody was supposed to stay indoors. Now, being in that situation, how did you still manage to do your practice? Did you do your practice in something?
Like how you said, luckily table tennis is an indoor game, and as I couldn't go out to practice to the academy, my father bought a table tennis robo so I could practice at home, and I cannot lose touch of my techniques.
Oh, okay. And I know that you have not just achieved in indoor game, you have achieved in this game in indoor as well. You went to Madhya Pradesh and got a trophy from the Chief Minister. I have seen a wall in your house. It resembles like a typical wall in Chennai. All like movie posters, I see a lot of certificates on the wall. And I saw a title as Wall of Fame. So whose idea was this and how does this Wall of Fame help you?
Actually, it was my dad's idea, as he wanted me to look at it and get inspired to bring home more and more medals and trophies.
Okay, that is cool. So you always keep seeing it. Guests at home when they come, do they read each and everything?
Yeah,
and
they
ask
always
you?
admire it and ask me what it is about.
Okay, so it piques the curiosity of them. It gives you a lot of positivity. They look at you like a role model, right? And that is how it helps you. Great. Now, let us say you're playing in a huge stadium. It's a new town for you. There is an opponent who has got his own huge fan following, and everybody in the gallery is, shouting his name, and they are celebrating each and every small wins of this. Nobody is even uttering your name. how do you feel in that circumstance?
I would feel all the more confident and positive because he would be under pressure as he has to perform in front of his people.
Wow, that's a great way of looking at it. I remember this. It was during the college days when boys used to go for basketball tournaments. Our professor, Mr. Nagarajan, never allowed girls to go and watch. When girls were asking, sir, we also want to go and watch. He said, no, if you are going and watching there, the boys will be under pressure. They would like to prove their individuality before everybody else. So I would not want to allow it. So it is great that you don't allow pressure to get into you and you look at that positively. And I also remember this famous quote from Iron Bishop about MS Dhoni. There is 15 runs to be taken with the last over. The pressure is on the bowler, not on you. So that is how you don't take pressure much anymore. Now, even though you have been breaking a lot of records in the last years, has there been some event that made you cry and you found it very difficult to come out of it for a few months?
Yes, I remember that moment. It was a state level match at Neyveli. I used to always cross pre-quarter in every tournament. But this time I lost in the second round. I was very unhappy about this and it almost took me a month to forget it.
Oh, okay. So from Neyveli become your valley. From valley you came to the peak. Like Neyveli is popular for electricity. So Neyveli gave you a shock of life. If you were to ask a common person about a popular champion in tennis or badminton or cricket, they would easily name someone. I don't think that is the case with table tennis. How do you feel about this situation?
I don't think this question is right because table tennis is now only gaining popularity like cricket, badminton, tennis, etc. And many players are winning international medals and trophies for their country, like in India. And my icon Sharat Kamal, who is a Padma Shri awardee, represented the Olympics this time at Japan. And
now, what happened when he represented in Japan? Did something interesting happen then?
he competed against world number 2 of China. And the guy said that he will not even lose one single set with anyone. But Sharat Kamal, he got the set and he made him feel like he's about to lose. It's a very tough competition.
Okay, so he gave a very tough challenge to that Chinese guy. So which means that I think the Chinese guy, I also heard that the Chinese guy said that it is a disgrace to China if I lose to somebody even in one set.
Yes.
And he lost to Sharat in one of the sets. Wonderful. So this is a great moral for everyone. Don't overestimate your strength regardless of what you do. Even when the Great Wall of China was built, it was to see that the Mongolian tribes and a lot of other people don't intrude into China. But what happened is within the first 100 years, China was invaded thrice. And people crossed the Great Wall of China. And it was possible only because they bribed the gatekeeper every time. So regardless of your strength, then if there is a little weakness, then you are not that strong. So that is how Sharat has proven himself, right? So you disagree that table tennis is not so popular. There are still champions. The only thing is, Nikkhil, you are into a game which requires agility, very quick decision making, speed, everything. If you are to watch a game like billiards, where people are very slowly moving around the table, thinking, taking that stick, looking at the ball, slowly swiping it. How do you feel about looking at such a game?
I would respect their moves, and that is how the game has to be played.
I hope you mean MOVE, because I don't think they require move alignment. Only people like you would require it because you have to move, you get spraying here, you need to apply that alignment, right? Okay. Now coming to your family, a more important question. What kind of support do you get from your family?
My family has supported me a lot for me to achieve all this. Even my uncle, my aunt, even a special thanks to my coaches who have guided me so
What
much.
did your uncle and aunt do specially?
Once I won the national championship at indoor, when I came home, they burst the crackers for me and I really enjoyed it.
Wow, that is great. And who else at home encourages you?
My Even my pet Jasper, whenever I don't feel good, I go to him and he makes me feel happy.
Oh, okay. So even your pet dog at home, you owe your success, some part of your success to.
And even my coaches, Muri sir, Srini sir and Meenakshi ma'am have guided me so much and molded me.
So you don't feel your coaches are outside your family, they're still extension of your family. They live in a different address, but still they're part of your family. That's what we say there. Okay, thank you for talking so open-heartedly in Arattai with Achievers, Nikkhil. I've become your fan too. Especially, I love your attitude towards irritating somebody who is irritating you by staying very calm. And I love the way you are giving a proportion of your success even to your pets. And I loved a lot of things that you revealed about your belief system in this program, especially about politics and sport. You believed that my gurus will take care of it. I need not. I have somebody who's big who will support me. When I'm honest, it will be taken care of. So I love the kind of confidence that you have in you. And I'm very sure you would also love it. Please subscribe to Arattai with Achievers and you will see a lot of young children coming and proving themselves to you